Well, this is very serious. I mean, I always take things seriously, but I've never taken it seriously like this. This is a very serious time in my life. I hate what's happening to the country. I wish I didn't have to do it. I wish this country was running so great, and I wish Obama was the greatest president since Abraham Lincoln, and I wish this was the greatest place in the world. What we're doing is unbelievable. If you look at what's going on, where our jobs are disappearing to foreign countries, where the oil, you're going to be paying $7 or $8 a gallon for your oil very soon.
But do you blame this all on Barack Obama?
Well, I blame a lot of it. It's been a terrible presidency. Look at Libya. We go in, we don't want to remove Gaddafi, but we're going to go fight, and we're going to this, and now nobody knows what's happening, and it looks like Gaddafi is going to beat the United States.
Would you as president say, let's get more aggressive, let's put boots on the ground if we have to?
I'm only interested in Libya if we keep the oil. That I connect with people because I happen to be smart, I happen to have a lot of common sense, I happen to know what I'm doing, I built a great company, and by the way, if I run, I look so forward to filing a declaration because it's a great company. I built a great company.
Recently, you've spent a lot of time talking about President Obama's birth certificate, or lack thereof. You don't seem convinced.
Donald, stay on the China issue, stay on the Saudi Arabia issue, stay on the India taking our jobs, and the Mexico, which is NAFTA, which cleaned out New England.
Issue.
Get off the birth certificate issue.
Why don't you?
Because
Number one, for instance, look at the letter from a fronting law firm used by Baker Donaldson to avoid detection and suspicion from Vogel Denise Newsome. 2, they play on the ignorance of Americans being dumbed down and their inability to comprehend or rationalize information. 3, think about it. Barack Obama was an Illinois state senator before becoming a United States senator for Illinois. 4, Barack Obama having traveled abroad prior to becoming president of the United States. Hello? Requiring a passport? Well, the requirement for getting a passport is you providing your birth certificate. So why didn't Barack Obama just provide a copy of the birth certificate he used to get his passport in the past? 5, yes, Baker Donaldson is legal counsel for the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services that's within the United States Department of Homeland Security. They are behind the creation of the forging fake certificate of live birth that Barack Obama released on or about April the 27th, 2011.
Because you know what? 3 weeks ago when I started, I thought he was probably born in this country. And now I really have a much bigger doubt than I did before.
But based on what?
And you know what? His grandmother in Kenya said he was born in Kenya and she was there and witnessed the birth. Okay? He doesn't have a birth certificate, or he hasn't shown it. He has what's called a certificate of live birth. That is something that's easy to get. When you want a birth certificate, it's very hard to get.
But it's considered the equivalent, and in the
it's not the equivalent.
In the state of Hawaii, they said they have seen this document. It is evidence that he was born in the United States. That's good enough for them. Scholars have looked at it.
A birth certificate is not even close. A certificate of live birth is not even signed by anybody. I saw his. I read it very carefully. Doesn't have a serial number, doesn't have a signature. There's not even a signature.
Do you believe he's lying?
I'm starting to think that he was not born here.
Do you believe he's lying, Donald? Come on, just answer.
He spent $2 million in legal fees trying to get away from this issue. And if he weren't lying, why wouldn't he just solve it? And I wish he would, because if he doesn't, it's one of the greatest scams in the history of politics and in the history period. You are not allowed to be a president if you're not born in this country. He may not have been born in this country. And I'll tell you what, 3 weeks ago I thought he was born in this country. Right now I have some real doubts. I have people that actually have been studying it and they cannot believe what they're finding.
You have people now down there searching, I mean, in Hawaii?
Absolutely, and they cannot believe what they're finding. I would like to have him show his birth certificate. And can I be honest with you? I hope he can. Because if he can't, and if he wasn't born in this country, which is a real possibility, I'm not saying it happened, I'm saying it's a real possibility, much greater than I thought 2 or 3 weeks ago, then he has pulled one of the great cons in the history of politics and beyond politics.
Do you consider yourself a Tea Partier?
I think so. I'm very proud. I'm very proud of some of the ideas they put forth. And the big idea is they want to stop this ridiculous, absolutely killer of spending that's going on. What's going on in this country, the way we're spending money like drunken sailors, we are just absolutely going, and ultimately we're going to destroy our own freedom.
But they want to stop it even at the cost of shutting down the government.
Well,
that's a possibility. Are you in favor of that?
Excuse me. It's not really shutting down the government. It's cutting costs. The kind of money that you're talking about is peanuts. And I think the Tea Party has done an amazing service for this country because people now, even very liberal Democrats, are starting to think for the first time, well, maybe we can't just keep giving everything away.
But if there
I think they performed a great service.
So if there were a partial shutdown of the government come Friday, that would be okay with you?
In my opinion, you know, I hear the Democrats are going to be blamed and the Republicans are going to be blamed. I actually think the president would be blamed. If there is a shutdown, and it's not going to be a horrible shutdown because, as you know, things will sort of keep
Well, there's a partial shutdown, right?
If there is a shutdown, I think it would be a tremendously negative mark on the president of the United States. He's the one that has to get people together. Right. I'm a deal man. I made hundreds and hundreds of deals and transactions. He never did deals before. How can you expect a man that's not a deal man, that never did a deal, other than, frankly, becoming president of the United States? He never did a deal. How's he going to corral all these people?
So how would you do it now? Now, you're in the Oval Office right now.
I would get everybody together, and we'd have a budget, and it would
They've all gotten together.
Well, that's because they don't have the right leader. You don't have the right leader. This is the president of the United States has to get this done. And I think he probably will. Now, I don't say he, but I think he and the group probably will get it done. But it's pretty sad because the whole world is looking at us and laughing at us. I love this country, but this country is going to hell. I would run a great country. This country will be great again. It is not great right now. We have huge deficits. We have huge unemployment. We have huge problem. And we're not respected. We're not respected in the world. The world laughs at us. They won't be laughing if I'm president.
What makes you presidential?
I've made a tremendous success. I've put hundreds of thousands of people to work. I have built a great company, which if and when I file, you will see my numbers are phenomenal. Great cash, great company.
People wonder about your
great
numbers,
values.
actually.
Well, they're going to see, because if I file, and one of the reasons I frankly like to file, is I wouldn't mind showing people. It's a great company, tremendous cash, very little debt, very big values, tremendous values. I've built a great company. And
does that translate into building a great country?
I think so. I think so. Look, I am different than a lot of people. One of the things I do is I love this country. I hate what's happening to this country. This country is in serious, serious trouble. We're the whipping post for nations all over the world.
Is your goal to be president?
Well, I would rather not be in a position where I wish we had, you, myself, everybody, somebody who was great. And I don't think he ever will be great. And by the way, when he was first elected, I said, I hope he's going to be the greatest president we've ever had. I know this. I will be better than anybody. I will do the best job. If I decide to run, I will do the best job. I will be best for this country. And you may say, oh, gee, that doesn't sound like George Washington. Well, guess what? Before George Washington ran, he didn't sound like George Washington either. I will be and do a great job if I run and if I win.